Okay, bet we are in motion. Welcome to the call, everybody. Hope your weekend was amazing. I hope your week is off to a great start. I'm super excited to be here. For those that maybe this is your first Mindset Master, you haven't tuned into a call like this before. My name is Riyad Jones. I'm 28 years old, and I love what I do. I love this amazing company that we all have the ability to be a part of, the opportunity to be a part of. I love where we're going as a company. The company just sent out an update today. There's over 500 chairmen in the company. So that's over 500 people that are earning minimum 10 grand a month. And what it is that we do, that's not an income claim. That's just the facts of what's going on with our amazing company. So everybody has, you're a part of something special right now. And you got to have that understanding and that awareness to know that you're a part of something that doesn't come around every day. It's not every day where you have a ton of minorities, a ton of people from other countries that are coming together in one company and doing what it is that we're doing. Over 500 people that have hit the rank of chairman at 10 and above. So guys, we're halfway to the goal of 1,000 chairmen, and you're going to look up in 2 years, year and a half, we're going to be saying, yo, we want 2,000 chairmen. We want 5,000 chairmen. So everybody has the ability to be a part of that. And you got to think, when you think about 2,000 chairmen or 5,000 chairmen, you got to think about all the other success that's been created for customers, for people that are platinum 5,000s, platinum 2,000s. You got to think, as people grow, as people go to the next level, it brings everybody to the next level. So when we add another 500 chairmen into the company as a whole, imagine what that does for people's lives, just normal people that may not be chairmen, but because they joined the company, they may have gotten value from the educational side. They may have become a platinum 2,000, platinum 5,000, or platinum 1,000, and they're able to supplement that income. What you guys got to understand, everybody's not going to become a multi-millionaire in this opportunity, in this vehicle, but it is a vehicle that can take people to where it is that they want to go. Does that make sense? So you got to recognize what you're a part of, understand the value of this company, and then act like you know you're a part of something special each and every single day. But that's that, man. So shout out to the company IML, shout out to Chris Terry. But here's the deal, man. I was on a plane going to Vegas for Gio's retreat that he had, and I was just in there plotting, putting together, what I wanted to talk about at the training. Because like he said, I did 2 hours of talking, 2 hours of training and whatnot. So I wanted to make sure that I had some stuff to talk about, right? And so as I was putting together my training, I was talking about the numbers in my training as I'm sitting here taking my notes on the airplane, just kind of, meditating in the sky. And so as I was talking about, or as I was typing in my notes, going through the numbers, right? A sorting game. God spoke to me 30,000 feet in the air, and he said, yeah, y'all do a sorting game in network marketing. It's a number game in network marketing, but it's a numbers game. It's a sorting game in my system as well. And what I'm sorting for people that have the right heart and the right character. That's what he told me. Can't make it up. He said, I'm sorting through people. I'm sorting through the numbers to figure out who has the right heart, who has the right character. Because everybody that I created with the gifts. Everybody that I created, I gave them the ability to do something. But not everybody that I created is going to develop the heart and the character that they're supposed to have to utilize the gifts and the talent that I already gave them to the best of their ability and access doors and meet people that they've never would have met before. Because God can't take you where your character can't sustain you. So it's a sorting game that he plays. So he puts us in situations, he puts us in challenges, he puts us in tight spots to figure out who has the hearts, who has the character, who's actually ready for the next level in all areas, because it's a sorting game. Have y'all noticed that not everybody wins? Not everybody ascends to the levels that they would like to ascend to. Not everybody goes to the places that they have a desire to go to. It's not because they don't do, it's because they don't become. Everybody does, but not everybody becomes. And this is the reality, or the fact that you gotta, or the thought that you gotta bring into your reality. Everybody can do, but not everybody can be. And so because everybody can't be, or everybody doesn't make the decision, the choice to be, it affects what they do. And because it affects what they do, in turn, they don't have the thing that they're supposed to have, which essentially has already been given to them. Does that make sense? So as he's telling me, I'm like, wow, I've been saying this whole time talking about a numbers game, network marketing, sorting, looking for the right leader. Listen, The only purpose of going through the numbers of network marketing is to find the right leaders, to find the ones. And God spoke to me. He said, that's the same thing I do. I go through the numbers too. I go through the numbers to look for the ones as well. I go through the numbers to look for the ones that have the heart and the character that's needed, because every person that I created has the ability to do because I created them. And I don't create anything for failure. I create everything with the ability to win. So it's not the doing that I'm so concerned about. It's the being that I'm more concerned about. It's the being. Because every new level requires you becoming a new person. Like we was just listening to Justin on an audio tape, and he said, you know, when you're playing a video game and you beat the level, the progress is saved and you never have to go through that level again. Well, again, God works the same way. See, God wants us to live in seasons and not cycles, right? Seasons and not cycles. Some people repeat the same thing over and over and over again. It becomes a cycle when in turn it was only supposed to be a season. They go through the same money problem. They go through the same challenges in business. They go through the same problems in relationships dealing with people over and over and over again, over and over and over again. It's because there was something that you didn't pick up. And so because you didn't pick it up, you got to keep going through it, because God teaches two ways. He teaches through instruction and he teaches through experiences. And if you don't learn from the instruction, then he has to take you through experience. And if you don't get the revelation in the midst of the experience, you got to keep going through the experience over and over and over again so that you can pass the level. And when you pass the level, you never go back. And sometimes if you go back to that level, you're only going back to so you can see how much you've grown from the last level. Like you went back to the same situation, but you're not the same person in that same situation that you were a year ago, that you were in 2 years ago. Does that make sense? Because it's a sorting game. And he's trying to figure out who has the right heart. He's trying to figure out who has the right character. He's trying to figure out who's going to be. See, some people work hard, but then you have some people that are hard workers. You have some people that read books, but you have some people that are readers. Does that make sense? Like it's one thing to do, but it's another thing to just be. It's one thing to try to show humility. It's another thing to just be a humble person. It's the being that matters. It's the character that matters. It's the heart that matters. And when somebody understands that, the next level just shows up. You're going to realize it's been there the whole time. You're going to realize the people been there the whole time. The resource, the information, it's been there the whole time. But here's something else that I've came to learn. There's certain things that you go through and you may have to repeat them over and over and over again. Sometimes it's not that it's a cycle. Sometimes there's value being added to your life because of what you're going through. You ever thought about that? You ever thought about that the thing that's taking too long, or the thing that you think is not moving in the way in which it should be moving? Did you ever think about that could potentially be an asset to your life? The fact that it's not going that fast because it's forcing you to believe more. It's forcing you for your belief to stretch. It's forcing you to really apply faith. It's forcing you to really prepare, because preparation is an act of faith. So if he allows it, it's because he's using it. And that gets me excited. Because if he's allowing it to happen in my life, he's allowing it to happen in me, so there can be a transformation in me, because the miracle happens on the inside first before the miracle shows up on the outside. That's just reality. The miracle will always happen on the inside before it happens on the outside. And so he will take us through seasons, cycles, situations over and over and over again. Sometimes he doesn't take us out of it. He just keeps us strong in the midst of it. You know, so when the business isn't going your way, when the trades aren't going your way, when the people that you thought were whatever, it's all good. Because if he's allowing it, I'm just giving you my thoughts on the way to Vegas. That's all I'm doing. I'm just giving you my thoughts on the way to Vegas 2 days ago. I'm just sitting there like, wow, I'm gonna just keep typing. If he allows it, he's using it for something. But the thing is, it takes you living through it to see the value that it adds to your life. It takes you getting all the way through it to see the value that it adds to your life, because you can never connect the dots looking forward. Like looking forward, you can't connect the dots. You can only connect the dots looking backwards. So you got to get all the way there and then look back and you say, oh, that's why that person had to quit. That's why I had to lose that relationship. That's why, I had to go through that pullback, because I had to learn how to manage my money. So when the next pullback came, I was in a way better situation. Oh, that's why that happened. It don't make sense while you're going through it. It only makes sense when you get through it and you look back. And you will see that you'll see the value that was added in spite of adversity. Because again, every new level requires a new version of you. And what I mean by a new version of you, I mean a developed heart, a developed character. Because your heart is the real you. You want to know how I know? Because if you open up the book, what it will say is that as a man reflects his face in the mirror, so the heart reflects his true self. So you look in the mirror, that reflects your face, but your heart reflects you. So for you to go to a new level, it's going to require you to develop your heart, your character. And those things, guess what? Only get developed through time. They only get developed through time. You can't just go buy a heart. That was one of my Instagram posts. Like, no matter how much money you make, you can never just go buy a heart. You can't buy a new heart. But having the right heart can get you all the money, though. See, all the money in the world can't buy you a new heart. But you having the right heart can attract all the money, because you have the heart to know what to do with it. And so that's why you got to respect, honor, and trust process, because process equals time. Another word for process is time. And so God develops your heart and your character, your patience through time. You can't just read the definition of patience and have patience. No, it takes you going through a situation that forces you to be patient, where the patient is actually developed. Man, I see why my microphone was messing up earlier. I see why my sound was messing up earlier. I could be done and we can go to sleep right now. Legit. But y'all know, I don't roll like that. I don't roll like that. I don't even roll like that. Sorting game. Listen, so even in the midst of me sitting in that airplane with my son going to Vegas, right? He took me somewhere to prove to me that it's a sorting game. And I talked about this at the retreat when I was with Gio there. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but basically what the story is about the parable of the 10 servants. And a master came to 10 servants. How many servants? Drop how many servants I just said in the chat. How many? Drop it in the chat. 10, right? Remember that number 10. We're talking about a sorting game. Who has the right heart? Who has the right character? He came to 10 servants and he gave each of them money, right? He gave each of them 10 pounds of silver, to be exact. And he said, invest this for me while I'm gone. There's a similar story to this in the Bible. This is a different one. This one has 10 servants, right? I never read this one until I was on the airplane, or I never realized I read it. Gives them 10 pounds of silver each. One of those individuals takes it, multiplies it, comes back. Well done, my good and faithful servant. I'm going to give you 10 cities now. Boom. Gave him 10 cities because he took it and invested it. And those 10 cities in today's money would be over $10 billion, like billions of dollars in today's money, right? But it started with 10 pounds of silver though. So the next one, he gives 5 pounds of silver. The other one takes it, does well with it. Well done, my good and faithful servant, because you did well with a few things. I'm gonna bless you with 5 cities. So those 5 cities, today's money, billions of dollars. The third individual comes. He doesn't multiply it. He keeps it. And he says, man, I know you was a hard master, so I didn't want to mess up the money. So I just held on to it, but here's it back. I'm gonna just give it back to you. I didn't multiply, I didn't do anything with it, but here it goes. And the master says, you know what? You tripping, get out of my face, and blah, 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 blah. Matter of fact, I'm gonna take what you just gave me back and I'm gonna give it to the person that already has 10, because to whom much is given, much is required, but to who does well with what he has, even more will be given, right? So when I finished the story, the thought that I had was, what happened to the other 7 servants? What happened to the other 7 people? It was 10, but he only talked about 3. Only 2 people did something with the money. So that let me know that the other 7 did the same thing that the third one did. 20%. Only 20% of people are going to qualify. Maybe even less than 20. Maybe 10 will qualify. Most people are going to disqualify themselves because he's just sorting to figure out who has the right heart, who has the right character. It's a sorting game. It's a sorting game. And so I got to thinking even more. Remember, I'm just giving you my thoughts from the airplane, man. That's all I'm doing, Cliff. I'm just giving my thoughts from the airplane. So I got to thinking more because I'm on an airplane going to Vegas, 4-hour flight. I have nothing but time to think. And so I start flipping through my little Bible app a little bit more. And then I was led to the story of Job. Man, we've all heard the story. We've all heard it. Somebody drop in the chat, what's Job's story? Just drop a synopsis of it. Just a couple letters, couple words. Just let me know, lost everything. Had everything, lost everything. Got back double. Boom, double for his trouble. We all on the same beat. But as I was reading my Bible, Cliff, remember, I'm on the plane. Just giving you my thoughts, man. This is what I read first. Whew. Boom. There was once a man named Job who lived in the land of Uz. He was blameless, a man of complete integrity. He feared God and stayed away from evil. He had 7 sons, 3 daughters, owned 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 oxen, 500 female donkeys. He also had many servants. He was, in fact, the richest person in that entire area. I'm gonna just paraphrase a little bit, move down a little bit, right? One day, the members of the heavenly court came to present themselves before the Lord, and the accuser Satan came with them. Where have you come from? The Lord asked Satan. Let me just pause right here real quick before I even move on. It's a lot of people in the waiting room. Let me let them in. I just saw them over there. Because remember, I just want you to remember what we're talking about right now. We're talking about process, developing the right heart. All of this stuff happens over time. It's a sorting game. He's just looking for the ones that got the right heart, blase, blase. Are y'all tracking with me? Let me know in the chat if y'all still tracking with me. Just let me know. I just got to make sure. Because if y'all get this the same way I got this, then we're going to be good. We're going to have a great week. One day, the members of the heavenly court came to present themselves before the Lord. One day, the members of the heavenly court came to present themselves before the Lord. One day, the members of the heavenly court came to present themselves before the Lord, and the accuser Satan came with them. So what that first tell, before I even go into the story, everything that happens in your life that you think is the enemy, do you know that still had to pass through the hands of God? Listen to what it just said. Maybe you didn't hear me. One day, the members of the heavenly court came to present themselves before the Lord, and the accuser Satan came with them. He came with them. So he had to wait in line with them like everybody else. So he didn't just have free reign to just do what he wanted. Because remember the first thing I told you, one of the first things I told you. There are certain things in your life that God allows because he sees it as an asset. If he allows it, he's trying to use it. So if something's going wrong in your life, God allows it to go wrong because there's something you can get out of it. There's something that can happen on the inside of you because of it. Nobody has free reign to rule in God's world. This is his world. So the one who we think has all this control, he still had to go before big God and say, yo, let me read. Let me just read. Where have you come from? God asked Satan. Satan answered, I have been patrolling the earth, watching everything that's going on. So he's been snooping. He's been looking around to catch somebody slipping. I'm just giving you my thoughts on the airplane. Then the Lord, listen to this. Then the Lord asked Satan, have you noticed my servant Job? He is the finest man in all the earth. He is blameless, a man of complete integrity. He fears God and he stays away from evil. So I don't even want to read no more. Let me read that one more time. I'm gonna read that part one more time. He is the finest man in all the earth. He's blameless, meaning he ain't done nothing wrong. Complete integrity, meaning whatever he say is true. Like he's whole, he's complete. That's what integrity means. He fears God and he stays away from evil. So, and for me, just kind of just being like a Bible head on the low, I never really heard nobody describe like this before. You understand what I'm saying? So this just got me thinking, like, if God will allow him to go through anything, who do we think we are? Like, I know for a fact I'm not the finest man in the earth. I know that. You should know that. You're not the finest woman or man in the earth. And if you think you are, that's just your pride and your ego. Have a little humility. This man said he was the finest man in all of the earth. And everywhere in the world, he's the finest. Blameless, don't do nothing wrong. Complete integrity, not incomplete, not halfway integrity, complete, full circle, complete. Fears God, stays away from evil. You have always put a protection around him in his home and his property. You have made him prosper in everything he does. Look how rich he is. But reach out and take away everything he has and he will surely curse you. Listen to what I was supposed to start reading, but I can't stop. He told me keep going. Listen to this. All right, you may test him. Do whatever you want with everything he possesses, but don't harm him physically. So he left his presence. And that's when Job began to lose everything, right? But what I want y'all to get from that is the first part. Finest man on earth, blameless, complete integrity, fears God, stay away from evil. If he can be tested, if he can be tried, if he can be put through adversity, lose everything, why would we think that we're not supposed to be challenged? Why don't we understand that there's something that's supposed to be happening inside of us in spite of our situations as well? What will make us think that we're like shielded from going through things and growing in spite of those things? Right? And the positioning of Job in the Bible is also very not ironic, but it's kind of ironic. What I mean by that is if you just like flip through the books of the Bible, you will notice that Job is in the section called the wisdom part of the Bible. Wisdom. So what that means is we're supposed to be getting wisdom from this particular story. We're supposed to be learning something from this particular story. The first thing, anybody can be tested no matter how good or how great you are. The second thing, If God is allowing it, it's because he's going to use it. And there's nothing that can happen in your life that did not have to pass through God's hands. It is right here when it says that they came to him and they basically stood in the line to wait. So he had to wait in the line with everybody else to figure out who he can hurt, who he can test. Job lost everything, like everybody just said in the chat. But after he passed his test, after his heart, his character, everything was developed, God gave him back everything he lost plus double. So he didn't just restore him to where he was prior, everything came back double. So he didn't just get 3 more sons, 7 more daughters, it doubled up. He didn't just get 5,000 camels, it doubled up. So maybe you don't just go back to your rank. What if you just double up? Maybe your bank account don't go to where it was at before. What if it doubles up? What if it triples up? But again, you have to stay down to understand the value that process has added to you. Because if he's allowing it, that means it's an asset. So don't trip. It's okay. Just know he's going through the numbers. That's all you got to know, JVL. He's just going through the numbers. He's going through the numbers and say, okay, I'm gonna put 10 people through the same test. I know only 2 of them probably gonna pass it though. Y'all know that's how life is. Y'all remember in high school, it wasn't everybody that did a great job. It was only a couple people. Y'all, I played football. Yeah, not everybody made it. Very small percentage of people made it. In this company, everybody don't go chairman, small percentage. Doing business with God, only maybe a couple people get the transaction. See, your heart, that's how you buy from God. Your character, that's how you buy from God. That's his currency system. It's not so much about you doing. Everybody can do. He created us all to do. Everybody can show the plan. Everybody can work. Everybody can travel. Everybody can sacrifice. Like if you ain't doing that, you're not going to win no way. Like if you ain't doing the work, you're not going to win no way. But for the people that are doing the work, and you feel like it's not working for you right now in this moment, it's okay. Your heart's just being developed. Your character is just being developed. You as a person is just being developed. And everything you think you've lost in the process of you building and you being is going to come back double, because there's overflow attached to every loss. Overflow is attached to every loss. Job lost, overflow. David lost, overflow. I'm telling you. So you just got to keep that happy and grateful attitude, knowing that if it's being allowed in my life, it's because it's an asset to my life. Man, I can just, and that's the thing, like for me, because I have an understanding, it makes it easier for me to stand under. Does that make sense? Because I have an understanding, it makes it easier for me to stand under everything I just told y'all. Everything I just said, I can stand under that, knowing when the rain comes, I'm protected. Because I got an understanding. So because I got understanding, I can stand under. And until you get understanding, you can't stand under. And what happens is you get from under what you should be standing under, and you just get rained on. You just get rained on. So it's faith based on understanding. That's the key to freedom. It says, in everything you get understanding. In everything. So everything you get, make sure you get understanding. So because I have understanding, I can stand under this stuff. And this is la la land. Yeah. You know, the same wind blowing everybody. Y'all know that, right? The same wind blows on everybody. But it's the set of the sail that determines where they go. Challenges happen to everybody. adversity happens to everybody. But the ones that can see it with the right perspective and the right vision, those are the ones that get through it. The ones that develop in the midst of process, those are the ones that win. Because for you to continue to advance, you have to continue to have your heart tested. Before you can continue to advance, you got to continue to have your heart tested. Rhea, how do you know that? Because every new level requires a new level of you, a better version of you. Who's you? Your heart. How do I know it's your heart? How do I know that? Because it says that the mirror, I'm looking at a mirror right now, the mirror reflects a man's face, but the heart reflects his true self. So that's why you got to consistently be tested through time, through adversity, through challenges, because it's doing something in you that you can't see. You can't see your heart, but it's working in you to develop you, to qualify you, because God's sorting through the numbers, examining the ones who has the heart that he can send blessings through, and it flows and it connects to everybody, because blessings are supposed to flow through you, not stop at you. But see, if your heart ain't right, the blessings, they stop at you because your heart clogged up. But see, when your heart is open, your heart is free, it's filled with love, blessings can just keep flowing through you, and they flow through everybody else. They don't stop. They don't get clogged up at you. Man, you know what? I'm done. I don't got nothing else to say. I hope that made sense. I hope it made sense. Let's have an amazing week. I love y'all, each and every single one of y'all. Shout out to everybody that qualified for Gio's retreat. Shout out to everybody that's going to be in Orlando. Shout out to everybody that's going to qualify to be at the retreat in Orlando. It's going to be crazy. I was just telling somebody at the house the other day, and when I was with Gio, I forgot who I was talking to, but I was like, bro, he was like, bro, you just did 2 hours of training. I said, bro, when we get to this retreat in Miami, bro, I'm going to be training all day, like all day. Like, bag is full for this event. We about to go to another level. Yep. I see it. So I love y'all. Let's have an amazing week. See y'all at the bank. God bless.